If you've ever played Red Dead 2 and thought, I like the vibe, but this needs to be even more brutal and nihilistic and horrifying, boy do I have a book for you! Blood Meridian is, quite possibly, the most notorious anti-Western ever written. Violent, vile, and unflinching, it served to disabuse the idealized, sentimentalized image of the Old West, popular to the America of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. In a world of John Wayne-esque heroism and sterilized, clear-cut happy endings, Blood Meridian set itself apart, standing in stark opposition, thus the anti-Western genre classification. Much like the ship of Theseus, time had stolen away the truth of the Old West piece by piece, replacing it instead with a tamer, more digestible version, until the original visceral brutality of the real thing was all but lost. Determined to resurrect this truth was one Cormac McCarthy, who spent several years and countless hours compiling research to make his harrowing tale as close to historically accurate as he humanly could. McCarthy read, traveled, and learned fluent Spanish, all to lend authenticity to his words, and in 1985, it all paid off. Blood Meridian was published. It was the tale of a young boy, known mononymously as the Kid. The Kid is 2 words, but close enough. The Kid leaves his dysfunctional home in Tennessee at the tender age of 14 and heads westward, falling in with a series of deviants, murderers, and general miscreants. Eventually his misadventures land him in the sights of the Glanton gang, and if you thought Dutch Vanderland was an insane psychopath, John Joel Glanton makes him look like Barney the Purple Dinosaur. Commissioned by the Mexican authorities to collect native scalps, he leads his band of bounty hunters along the Mexican-American border, greedily massacring every native he comes across, and soon just massacring anyone dark-skinned enough to pass for one. Great guy. The catch? John Joel Glanton isn't even the scariest man in the company. No, that distinction belongs to Judge Holden, a large, pale, hairless man of unknown origin who knows more than any human ought to, and has an insatiable appetite for war. Just his presence seems to galvanize those around him to fall into chaos. Though never overtly stated by the book, many believe this character to be an incarnation of the devil. Others believe him to be an incarnation of death, though I'm less sold on that one, as it's my belief death has already taken form in the McCarthy-verse in 2005's No Country, and I doubt McCarthy would repeat himself. Now that the basics have been established, I can get to the main reason this video was made. I sometimes trawl around on Reddit reading McCarthy theories for fun. It was there I discovered a theory regarding this book that kind of floored me. You see, a lot of the theories I've seen seem to skew optimistic, strange as that is to say. A popular interpretation seems to be that the judge turned on the Kid because the Kid implicitly denounced violence by going his own way after the Glanton gang died off. The judge believes that war is God, so when the Kid chose a more peaceful lifestyle, he viewed it as the ultimate blasphemy, a blasphemy worthy of death. And that's why at the end, spoilers, he pops back up in the Kid's life and kills him. This theory would imply the Kid defeated the judge by not allowing himself to be manipulated. The worst the judge could do was kill him, but since he failed to corrupt him, it was a hollow victory. Thus the closing words where the judge says he will never die is more him trying to reassure himself, more him trying to lick the wound of that hollow victory. I'm basically summarizing here from a very, very foggy memory. Hopefully I didn't botch it up too bad. Most theories fall in relative proximity to this one, but I came upon another discourse that had a whole different take, and since this channel is basically just me bloviating endlessly about stuff that interests me, I figured what better place to discuss it than here. And before you say this is stupid, let me explain. Make no mistake, the judge is a very real presence at the start. He's there. He physically influences the environment around him, he talks to people, he kills people, etc. The effects prove the cause. It's only after the time skip near the end, where the Kid becomes the man, that the judge's reemergence takes on a more metaphorical implication. Here the Kid is worn down, jaded by a life of non-stop cruelty. Here he's all but normalized the death and destruction that's inundated him from day one. So when the judge shows back up, it's more a hallucination, more the vestiges of his influence than him actually being there. And where at the end, the Kid goes down to the Jakes and the judge entraps, violates, and murders him in the outhouse, this is indicative of the Kid experiencing an irrevocable metamorphosis. The judge has violated his sensibilities, has roiled his mind to such a degree that the old Kid finally gives in and allows the demons of his past to consume him. 2 ideals enter, 2 grapple, and 1 emerges. It's here the Kid dies. It's here the Kid becomes the judge. This would track, as shortly after the time skip the kid is forced to shoot a teenaged boy in self-defense. This boy can be seen as reflective of the carefree nihilistic child he used to be, a past iteration of himself, if you will. When this iteration dies, the kid is left wide open for the judge to reappear and fill the void. Convenient that the judge only returns after this takes place. For how metaphoric the first part of the story is, the second part is where practically everything falls into question and offers itself as a potential metaphor. The kid tries to save an elderly woman, just to find she's already dead and has been dead for some time. He's trying desperately to fight the evil the world has planted in his heart, but it's grown so tall, and he just can't catch a break. With every passing day, redemption seems farther and farther out of reach. He carries a Bible with him, but he doesn't know how to read. And really, if one instance could sum this whole book up in a nutshell, if one instance could sum the kid up in a nutshell, it's that. He wants to be better, but he's shut out, and life only serves to germinate more darkness. Given the story revolves around the kid and his moral choices, for better and worse, this theory might actually be onto something. It's certainly among the more bleak interpretations, but if you haven't noticed yet, this is kind of a bleak book, so... I'd encourage anyone who's a fan of Blood Meridian to go to Reddit and read some of these dialogues. They have really opened my mind to a lot, and I appreciate it. If you're a nerd like me, maybe you'll appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to bring the Reddit here. Find a cool theory, have a cool theory, feel free to sound off in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.